Hey everyone, I'm Ian from Tone Hi-Fi, and today I'm going to show you how you can get your bookshelf speakers connected to a TV. Now real quick before we jump in, I just want to explain that there are two different kinds of bookshelf speakers that you'll see out there. Those are called active or powered and passive. The only real difference between these is that active or powered speakers are going to have an amplifier built in versus passive speakers which require an external amplifier to make them work. Right now, all of Tone Hi-Fi speakers are considered passive, so you will need an amplifier for them. Okay, so you're just gonna need a few different things in order to get your bookshelf speakers pumping sound out from your TV. You're gonna need a speaker amplifier. We'll once again gloss over some different types, but if you already have one, then you're all set. You're also going to need either speaker cable with banana plugs or some other kind of connection built in. These are nice if you are less handy and you just want something that's going to save you some time. If you are a little bit more handy, you can just buy a big roll of speaker wire in bulk and then either use the bare wire or connect your own banana plugs or spade terminals or whatever it may be. Now step one is we're gonna just go ahead and take the speaker and turn it around. This right here is the Tone Marlin speaker, which is a soundbar kind of style, just easy to show you with. On the back, you will see that there are these connections. These specifically are called 5-way binding posts. Your speakers may have spring terminals, and some speakers even have 2 separate terminals. In most cases, those are intended to be bridged together with an included metal tab, or you can connect them to 2 different amplifiers to do different kinds of EQ and things like that. With this turned around, we're gonna take our speaker cable, and in my case, I have banana plugs. This is just gonna make installing a little bit easier, and you're going to double check which side of these is black and which side is red. There might be a plus or a minus, different things like that. Minus being for your ground or black connection. We're then gonna go ahead and take that cable and connect it right up to our amplifier. You can see I've already got my banana plugs connected here. In either case, you can also go ahead and unscrew the back of the amplifier and just connect in bare wire directly. These 5-way binding posts are specifically allowed to use bare wire, spade terminals, banana plugs, different styles, just for different preferences. Now next up, we're gonna go ahead and connect our amplifier to power. I'm gonna make sure that my volume is set to very, very low. The reason for this is that some amplifiers may pop or make a loud sound when they turn on. The second reason is that once you've got everything connected, there's a chance that you might have a loose connection or something isn't connected properly somewhere along the lines, and then before you know it, you finally figure out what the problem is, and then you blast your ears off and potentially damage your speakers. If you have a really powerful amplifier with some bookshelf speakers, it is possible to permanently damage them. So save your herring, save your speakers, just keep the volume low until we know that everything works. With that whole tangent out of the way, we can now go ahead and grab our power cable. We've already got this plugged into the wall, and I can connect it into the amplifier. Okay, so just as a recap, we've now got our bookshelf speakers and they are connected to our amplifier on the correct side, red to red, black to black. We've got our amplifier powered up and the volume is set to low. Now we just need to get a signal from our TV to our amplifier. And there's a few different ways to do this, and there's some upsides and downsides to each one. Probably a connection that almost everyone is familiar with is the headphone jack, or a 3.5mm jack. Most TVs will have a headphone jack that you can use, and you can connect that directly to an amplifier, either with another headphone jack, like an aux cable, or can be adapted to RCA. This is a really easy way to connect a TV to an amplifier, and on a lot of TVs, you can actually use your regular TV remote to adjust volume. But there is a downside. When you pass audio through a headphone jack like this, you are essentially relying on the TV to do some of the audio processing. And the audio processing on a TV is usually pretty bad, so you are not gonna have the best audio experience. Well, if you want better audio quality, what do? Well, another option is what is called optical, or sometimes toslink, and the audio quality is much, much better. The downside though is that you cannot use your TV remote to adjust volume. So make sure if you want to use an optical connection that you get a amplifier that has a remote that allows you to adjust volume. Little tangent here, I've met a few people that have something like a soundbar connected to their TV with an optical cable, and they say, I can adjust my volume just fine, I just use my regular TV remote. Optical cannot control the volume of an external device, so if you have that kind of setup, then what's actually going on is that your speakers and your soundbar is playing at the same time, and you're just making your TV louder. Not a great system. So headphone jack is great if we want convenience, optical is better if we want better audio quality, but what if we want both? Well, that's where HDMI comes in. They're a little harder to find and they are more expensive, but you can get HDMI ARC enabled amplifiers. Now, using an HDMI connection is awesome. You will connect that directly to the HDMI ARC port on your TV. It does have to be the ARC port specifically. You'll connect that into your amplifier or receiver, and once you enable things properly, you can use your regular TV remote to adjust volume, and you have the better audio quality as well. Once that's all set, we're just gonna go into the TV and enable one more thing. You'll wanna make sure that your TV speakers are off. Just like I mentioned earlier, we don't want the TV speakers playing alongside your other audio equipment. That's gonna sound bad. So we'll make sure that it's set to strictly be outputting to another device. There are a couple of common things that may happen when you go to play a song, is that you may see that one of the speakers works, but the other one doesn't. In that case, the most likely thing is that you have a loose connection, either on the back of the speaker here or on the amplifier side. If the connection seems tight, it's also possible that the connection coming from your TV, like a headphone jack, may be a worn out cable and it's not bringing the signal in to one side. You can often test this by rotating the cable a little bit. If you hear the sound kind of crackling and coming in and out, then you'll want to replace that cable. The other possibility is you may get no output whatsoever. If that's the case, you'll want to check a couple of things. First, make sure that your TV is putting out to the correct output that you have connected. Sometimes you'll have to specifically say if it's an HDMI output or a headphone jack or whatever the case may be. If everything looks good there, you'll also want to make sure that your amplifier is set to the right setting. Sometimes with amplifiers, you may have to select the mode, whether it's connected to Bluetooth or connected to an optical connection or something like that. So double check that as well. If all of that looks good, then you can fuss with the volume and see if it's just playing really quietly. I've just seen this happen way too many times where the first thing people check is the volume and they'll just keep cranking it up and cranking it up and cranking it up. And it's never fun when the speakers finally start working and then you make the whole neighborhood deaf with the resulting sound. Down in the description, I do also have a couple of recommendations for a few different styles of amplifiers. You can go ahead and check those out. These are just a few that I've had experience with or from brands that I really trust. And lastly, if you're interested in the speaker I have right here, this is called the Marlin. This is a speaker that I build myself right here in the USA. Delivers great audio quality at an affordable price. I'm Ian from Tone Hi-Fi, and I'll see you soon.